Hello everyone and welcome to Night of the Blackwater. I am Ben and today we have the top 8 game from the Cardiff Regional. On the left here we have Kevin Richardson, one of my local metamates from Southampton, who's playing Martell Fealty. And on the right we have the internet famous, you may know him from the Wardens of the Midwest as Joe's Lackey, from Decklist and Chill, or just generally from Facebook groups being generally awesome. It's Dan K. And he is playing Greyjoy Crossing. Looks like they have picked their starting hands. Or setup, sorry. We've got Nymeria and Maester Calliot against Littlefinger, Seabitch, and a Lordsport Shipwright. I would have forgot that, one of my favourite cards in the game. So, Kev there, looks like he's at least drawn into an Asher, which is never bad to see. Kev's deck is your kind of more recently traditional Martell Fealty deck, which is wanting to go second. He's playing Heads on Spikes, playing March, playing lots of resets, playing Ghost of the Last Giants into Varys. Dan's deck is just your general rush. I'll go into a bit more in a second. So we've got Time of Plenty into... I can't quite see what Kev's plot is. I do apologise there, guys. As I said, they didn't quite have the camera set up perfectly at Firestorm Games. They're not normally renowned for their Game of Thrones events. So, 1, 2, 3. So he did not play Time of Plenty. He's definitely done something to go second.
Okay, so I collect.
Maybe we'll work it out in a minute. So, Dan is where it says gets 7 gold, thanks to Littlefinger. And we got a sea tower played out, so you can reduce the next Greyjoy location, attachment, or character by 1. There's Nelt to bring out Asher with a dupe. Never bad to see. Asher is probably one of the better cards in the deck. I think Kevin slipped into the long plan. I believe that is the long plan. I think you can just about see the hand. We'll find out in a minute. But I do believe that is what that is. So Dan just think he was going to do with the last of his 3 gold. I should say, as it's the first time I made a cut, I actually made the cut, well, a regional cut. I was currently playing as well. I was playing against Joel, who we have seen in previous videos, with his Night's Watch Wolf deck. And I was using, as you would have seen in round 3, the Tyrell Reigns, which is a deck I think is probably one of the strongest decks in the current meta. And it's only going to get stronger with that new event, which got spoilt by Dan and Joe from Cincinnati, which is what is it? It's Alana's something, I can't remember the actual name of it is, but allowing you to do an extra power challenge for 2 gold and recur it by winning an intrigue by 5 or more. So Dan has spent 1 gold on an Iron Mines and he's kept 2 gold, and I think he's got Hand's Judgment in hand. Now Dan is no fool. Dan knows exactly what Kev's deck is trying to do, so I reckon that's probably to try and counter Last of the Giants. So we have we have a green blood played out, which is immediately knelt by Dan. We have Fealty knelt. Kev choosing to kneel the Fealty agenda rather than the house card, but obviously as we know the effect. And we have the Venomous Blade played out. Now, probably should have done... Oh, no, it wouldn't have made a difference if you'd done that first or not. So, it's going to kill the... Lordsport Shipwright. 2 gold left. You'd think here that Kev's probably going to steal the Ashes military icon. It's going to sit on 2 gold. So Dan's probably got a Risen in hand by the looks of that then. If he's having a think. Or it could be the Iron Mines. But I think it is the Risen. He's probably just thinking he wants to keep a Chud so he can't doesn't get put in the situation where he needs to essentially get marched next turn. And he's going to Iron Mines by the looks of it. It's a brave choice, but you can see the logic behind it at this point.
I don't really want to lose either of these guys to March.
And yeah, Dan is saying he doesn't want to lose anyone to March, so he doesn't want to save the Chud either, so it's the conundrum. So Dan is going to use the Iron Mines to save the Chud. That is an interesting choice.
My challenges? 3 transactions?
So no pre-transactions, which is actually if Dan goes straight to in the military, stealthy Nymeria. I'm quite surprised that Kev didn't choose. I guess with the Chud out, the military is less important. But at the same time, it's now left his board more open because it's made his board more open to claim really, because obviously right now he has to kill someone, and that indeed does go unopposed. And Dan actually's not saved that gold for the Last of the Giants, and he's actually choosing to We Do Not Sow the Venomous Blade.
I have no more reactions.
And have we got a Vengeance for Elia? We do have a Vengeance for Elia.
Wow, there we go. All that.
And I think Dan has forgotten to stand Asher.
Cool.
I didn't see a Nightmares being used, unless I missed something.
Okay. I think at this point we'll have to go to you.
So Kev is triggering Nymeria.
Boy, I'm glad I fucking saved that guy with the mines now, eh? I've got to take unopposed ban. Sloppy, never mind.
Now, Dad said you also forgot to take unopposed power, and I think technically you actually have to take unopposed power. I don't think there's a choice in it, and I think that's what Kev has said as well. Yeah, you actually have to take unopposed power. That's not a...
Naughty.
And Dan is saying he's been naughty.
I guess that helps your decision, eh?
So he's going to take the intrigue icon from Littlefinger.
You've got tears in your hand.
Intrigue. Does he have the tears? He does not have Tears of Lease. So that's an interesting. I think that's another interesting choice. I think the military get rid of the dupe on Asher, and then potentially Valor, and we get a Great Kraken taken for claim. And we have a power challenge from Calliot. So Dan's working the option of either he fully blocks, but Kev getting the gold and wins Dom, or he lets it go unopposed, and Kev will win Dan will win Dom, but gives Kev one less gold. So no Last of the Giants, which is a very, very common opening play here from Kev. You've got a half wonder. I think Kev mulligan, so I don't know if he mulligan and ends up 2 characters. He wonder he mulliganed into an alright hand rather than a great hand. But the money from the money from the long plan is definitely going to help. And it is great. I do think it's great to see how these Martell decks have come back, because they had so fallen off the meta. But now they're right back up there. So we have that is Dan has played Winter Festival, and I think that is Varus's Riddle. That Kev's played, which obviously has whiffed. So 6 gold here for Dan, plus the reducing location. So he's going to play a Great Hall for 1 gold. So we're going to see a big character come out now. So Sea Tower's knelt to put out the Iron Mines, and Great Hall's knelt, and 6 gold is spent for Victarion. And Dan is going to sit at 1 gold, saying that he has a very marchable board. It will depend what Kev can get at. Now Kev obviously has a lot of gold right now. He's he should have, not a lot of gold. He has 8 gold plus the reducing location and any econ he may have in hand. Now we have seen he's got a and the Green Blood is knelt, and Fealty is knelt. Now we have seen he's got Gaston Grey in hand. Okay, but he pays out the fiefdoms to gain 2 gold, so he's actually now up to basically 9 gold. 9 gold, 10 gold, 10 gold. Sorry. Now, but obviously one faction sometimes you don't necessarily want to play out Gaston Greys against Greyjoy, because they do have We Do Not Sow. They have a lot of location control, and Dan is probably playing Euron Crozar, you'd imagine, and if he is, that's just such a juicy target to steal and pretty much pop off every turn. So I don't know what Kev is thinking there. We have also seen the Iron Throne. That might be a less risky option right now. But then obviously Kev wants to be resetting the board. And there is a Varus in hand. We can see that there is a Varus there. The Iron Throne might be better, because at least that after the reset, which he is going to be playing a few resets in here. At least after the reset, he can win Dom repeatedly. The issue then being, of course, instead Dan might be tempted to steal that if he has the option to, and obviously then that gives the advantage to Dan on the Iron Throne front, and obviously it being unique, that is a downside. So I think that's what Kev's thinking about at the moment. So it's an interesting conundrum here. And we do indeed have the iron frame played out. Sounds like a lot of gold play. And we've got Varys has hit the board. And without the Seastone chair, he's pretty safe. You assume that Kev has not seen the last of the Giants, because otherwise he probably would have held on, especially down only having 1 gold. I mean, it is a risk if he gets nightmares and then he dies, but I think it's a risk that's worth taking. So Dan already thinking about the next turn, that kind of accepting that his board is going to get reset and where to go from here. So military stealthing Nymeria with Asher, which goes unopposed. And we have a We Do Not Sow to blow up the Western Fiefdom. So there was another We Do Not Sow there. So the I was correct about the risk with the Gaston play. So Dan remembering to stand at this time. I believe you got it wrong last time. Now Dan taking the post pass. So Dan's up to 2 power. We can't quite see his power, unfortunately. Mr. Kalios is going to buy the farm. Now see if Dan here trying to get probably going to try and get a crossing off this turn. This is a risk. If he goes with both of them, this is a bit risky because obviously Kev can just take the intrigue icon off Littlefinger, but then again, Dan might also think that that's fine because if he takes the intrigue icon off Littlefinger, that Kev can only do 1 challenge back, and Kev is already winning Dom because he's got the Iron Throne. So unopposed, Dan stand Asher. Okay, he has forgotten. Now a Victorian. I'm going to intimidate Nymeria. And he's going to take the intrigue off from Littlefinger. Now, all that's really doing at this point is slowing Dan down slightly, rather than actually kind of helping Kev's cause out per se, because obviously Varys has stealth. But it's so probably the correct choice. Dan's got 2 cards in hand. There's no Kev comes with the intrigue. There's no reactions. Gets the unopposed. Going to choose one of the cards, and he gets Balon Greyjoy. And I think that leaves Dan with. If I remember seeing Dan's hand correctly, that was that would be the Sultan Navigator. Now, interesting there, Kev won dominance, but I believe if Dan remembered the Asher's standing trigger, Dan would have actually have. Dan would actually have won. Dan would actually have won dominance. Sorry, he would draw on dominance. Might not have made a massive difference, but obviously it's these little things that can make a difference. So Dan, no, he's going to get marched. Only got 1 card in hand. He needs desperately to see some cards. So I don't know if he's playing Counting Coppers.
That's the first time I've missed that in a very long time. Disappointing.
I think Dan has just realised he forgot to stand Asher, and I think this is Counting Coppers.
Oh, play indeed.
And we have marched into Counting Coppers, as I said. So Asher leaves the table. I believe, by the way, at this point, Dan is currently on 5 power to Kev's 2. But again, unfortunately, I can't quite see Dan's power total, which is quite frustrating. So Dan is drawn into his now back up to Fistful of Cards with 6.
So
The important thing is, can he actually play anything out? Now, he does have a fair bit of econ there. Oh, we have Wex played out for free. And a Wilding Scout. Now, we can also see a Euron Crow's-Eye in hand. And obviously, he could end up doing some work here, especially with some really good econ, especially some really good locations in the bin. But I think Dan has made some very tough but sensible decisions here in this game, because by getting rid of that Western fiefdoms, he's really denying Kev a lot of econ, which Kev could needs to repopulate the board. And it is a tough choice because there were some sexier targets, but actually going for the econ to starving Kev is the right choice, really. Because, this is the difference between Kev being able to pay out something quite big now. Like, if you had another Nymeria in hand, he could easily just get her out. Whereas to get her out now is all his gold. And that's probably not where Kev wants to do, especially with such a small board. Whereas, if with the 2 gold, you could easily get out Nymeria, something like Nymeria and a Chud, as well as the Desert Scavenger in this case. So we've got a Spearman played out. Past Spearman, he will has an intrigue icon because Kev is going second. They're absolutely fantastic in the style deck. And Kev maybe hasn't used Fealty. So on to challenges. So we have an intrigue from the Desert Scavenger. No, the Desert Scavenger. The Wilding Scout. Obviously, this is an intrigue for 1 because it's crossing. That really makes a difference with such a small board. Kev taking a hard choice here. Now, Dan's doing a really good job of putting pressure on Kev's hand, especially with a Greyjoy deck, which obviously traditionally struggle a bit with this part of the game. And that is going to go unopposed. And Kev's down to only 5 cards, so you can understand why that was such a hard choice. And he gets the Prince's Plan, which not the best pull because obviously it's quite easy to get it back. So a military from Pike, where's Pike? Dan saying he's dead in a generous guy. With one hand, he takes the Prince's Plan away. With the other hand, he gives him an option to get it back into hand. Okay, just double checking the plots. And that goes to unopposed. Prince's Plan is brought back to hand. Claim, I imagine, will be the Desert Scavenger. Why was there no claim there? And that was an intrigue chance going back. Now, I wonder if that was a mistake and Kev should have gone for power, because these Greyjoy decks can just rush away with it so quickly that sometimes it's better just to take the power option. And yes, Euron Crow's-Eye, so that was a good pull. So maybe not, but I do sort of wonder, these Greyjoy decks can race ahead so quickly that it's just better to keep trying to take the power off them. So when it comes to sort of like Rise of the Kraken turn, or was it a Clash of Kings turn? It's you just they can't just race ahead and win the game. So we have Summer Harvest into Retaliation. So Kev Dan getting 8 gold plus his reducing locations, and I think he's got another Euron Crow's-Eye there. I think he's got Euron Crow's-Eye, and he's got Theon. I think the new Theon. I think that might be about the best top deck he could have hoped for, especially with crossing.
So what are we on? 6, is it?
I was only 6 gold. I do apologise, not 8 gold. 6 gold plus the Great Hall plus the reducing location. Indeed, there is new Theon in hand. mini Balon, if you like. And he's going to go for Euron Crowseye instead.
That is beautiful. That is fucking gorgeous music to my ears. I don't know what the odds of that were.
Leaving him 3 gold, and I think he might as well put Nefion out as well, hadn't you? Really start ramping up you start racking up this military power. And yeah, it does put Nefion out. I'm absolutely loving this card. He is so good. Especially in crossing, where you put him in the first challenge. He's strength 1. And generally probably going to do military of him. There's not many straightforward military icons in the game that can oppose him. You got Kev maybe playing Bastard Daughters. I'll say they can. The other option is what's it? I can't remember now. The Ranger, the 2-cost Ranger, where you can get to discard a card. Oh, Kev, I feel for you. He's just put the Green Blood Traders come out and given the option of Last of the Giants or Varys. Oh, that's not how you want to see it. He has chosen Varys, and I think that's probably is the correct option. But yeah, you don't want to see Last of the Giants and Varys in the same like that. You want to be drawing both of them. And we have the House Day Knight. I think Kev's sitting on 2 gold. I have not seen a Last of the Giants in hand. So it's interesting he's done that. I think I have seen a Nightmares though. So we've got a military of 1 coming in from the field. I think Kev sensibly kept his Desert Scavenger up, so that it couldn't be opposed with. So he couldn't do the power challenge. Well, he couldn't get an unopposed in the power challenge because he could oppose with the Desert Scavenger. That goes unopposed. Claim's going to be the Green Blood Trader by the looks of it. Probably makes sense out of all the options. I assume you probably do the Intrigue with the Wildling Scout. Dan thinks kind of have to go for this. I assume that's in reference to the fact that although it's a 2-claim plot, retaliation on Kev's side. I think he's just going to go balls to the walls, try and take some cards out of Kev's hand. Just try and put his maximum power on Kev here. In all fairness, he has got an Iron Mind. I think he's got a. I think he has the Arisen in hand. So, depending on what order the Kev does the challenges in, he could potentially not really lose much in the way of board presence. Arisen and Euron Crowseye right now would not be the worst thing in the world. And that Intrigue is going to go unopposed. So 6 cards. Not 100% sure about this putting on the board like that, onto the side, but it's personal taste. And we have a Quinton taker for claim. Probably, let's say, and just like that, he's not going to do the power challenge. So it's an interesting choice because I don't know if he's trying to force Kev into having to attack with multiple icons.
I imagine you've got the Princess Black because you're 7. So you've got 1, 2, 3. So you can get up to 3 with them.
So Dan just thinking through the options now. Obviously, it's possible you could quite easily win this challenge, especially if you go some both military icons. Chooses to play the Princess Plan. I don't know. I might be more aggressive with Joran Crozai there. Try to get him into challenge. Try to get that econ out of the bin. But I'm not saying that is the right option. I think this is turn 4. So Princess Plan currently gives +3 strength. So Kev could win the intrigue here if you want to see, but then it might be better attacking the military. I think it might be better if I don't know. Yes, as I said, I think you really want to be trying to win that power challenge.
I know. I haven't gotten it. It's the first time. I don't know what I'm doing.
You think potentially a Valor might be coming in a minute, but at the same time, I don't know that really hurts Dan that much.
It's not looking great for old Danny.
We don't.
Kevin racked by indecision though, so that always helps.
It's very hard.
It is very hard. Yeah, shit, my disc guys carried the pressing number.
So looks like Kev's looking to a power challenge, and that is power challenge from the Pad of Spearman.
Just doing power with him.
I think Dan has let this go unopposed.
Just it.
I think Dan has let that go unopposed, so he can defend the other challenges.
It has to go unopposed.
And Dan does indeed let it go unopposed. So it's a bit of a power swing, because that gives Kev 3 power and takes 2 off Dan. And I'm sorry, guys, because I can't see these power data. I think we're roughly at 7-8? 7, might be 7-7.
I do.
But I think in Dan's eyes, he's kept his board presence up.
And I want those things.
And Kev is basically, if he comes in for a challenge now, unless... No, I think even he gives a...
Into the last third of the game, Kev. So I'm going to have to speed you up a tiny bit. That's alright. You're done.
And Kev's going to take Dom. So I think that puts Kev on 8. I could be wrong, and I do apologise for this, guys. They've just left their house cut, where they're keeping the power just outside, and it's making this quite awkward. I know Kev is a little bit not as organised with how he puts his power down. So we've got another retaliation into a Clash of Kings.
And you're first, lucky devil.
And Kev is going first for once. So if he does see a Western Fiefdoms? It's not Western Fiefdoms, is it? Whatever it is. Whatever the grade Martell Fiefdoms one is. He won't be getting full value from it. So that does make it obviously less appealing unless he doesn't have another loyal card he wants to play out. So Kev has 4 gold plus 2. Yes, just that he could play out that Great Hall Helmet get Varus. I don't think it does. I think Kev is struggling here. That the Dan Decon denial was really hurt here. So another Desert Scavenger played out. And both of them are knelt to put out a Green Blood Trader. I think Kev is just looking for draw at this point. I assume it's going to be a Green Blood Trader. It is. Okay, didn't quite see those 2 options there. I think there's Ariane Martell, but he just can't quite afford to get her out. He's only got 4 gold left. Oh, sorry, I do apologise. It wasn't retaliation. It was counting coppers. Do apologise. So Kev's sitting on 2 gold. Obviously, enables the Prince's Plan. Enables a Vengeance. Obviously, Kev has to be really careful here, because if he loses a power challenge, that's going to be a big rack up of the power. And as a lot of people forget, or not a lot of people, some people forget, obviously you can use you can get the pound defense as well. Dan has put out the market using the reduction from the sea tower. There's not 8 cards discarded yet, so only gets the 1 gold back. So he's going to sit on 4 gold. That's interesting. And he's going to put out Damp Air as well. So if he wins Dom, and he probably won't, because there is a King's, there is the Iron Throne on the other side, then he can get a dead character back. I don't think he's had that many characters though that are probably worth bringing back killed. And Dan's just giving you a little friendly reminder to Kev that they are running close to time. And in the nicest possible Dan way, just kind of say, yeah, if you could just speed up slightly, that would be lovely. So I think it's going to be a power challenge. Yeah, power for Theon. There's no way defending this. Even with the Princess Plan on the Green Blood Trader, it would boost her strength to 5, so she can't possibly defend. And that's going to be a big swing in power back in Kev's favour. Dan's favour. That's both the powers taken from the. That's both power from the. And he's going to Viper's Eyes. And you see a Risen and a Salty Navigator. Yeah, you've got the. So Clash of Kings takes 1. Unopposed. And claim. So this says, especially Kev being first player, he can't get any chat and power back.
Got a big old hand there, haven't you? Big old fucking hand. Full cards.
Now, obviously, Kev is second, so you're going to do intrigue here from the scout. That's probably the best choice because obviously Kev is going second. So Kev is first. It's the first player, so there is no intrigue icon on that Power Spearman right now. But more than anything, it's just needing a character so the Prince's Plan won't work. As much as just taking some strength out. So you can have a military coming in for 8, 12, possibly 13. So Kev's going to stop the unopposed. And the 13 would be. I don't think the Power Spearman that gets to 6 can get to 11. So yeah, that would win the power. That would win the military challenge. If Kev puts both, so Dan puts both of them in. We have another his Viper's Eyes taken for claim. That's interesting. Kev didn't choose both of them and destroy Dan's hand because it's not limit once per challenge. So he could have used that on the power. And Dan is indeed just doing the strength. So it's 10 military. It'd be. So I don't think he needs to put both of them in. But he is definitely putting both in. He definitely wants to win this. Yeah, Euron,
Okay, so you oppose. Any actions after that? So, crossing happens first.
So Dan gets 1 power for crossing.
Claim of 1.
Claim on. The green blood trader's chosen for claim. Might take the scavenger.
Keywords and
Round pillage. What's Dan going to get for the pillage? So vengeance for Elia.
I'll take the fighting after that.
And he's then going to take the fiefdom because that does make sense. I think it's the only attachment in there, location in there really that makes sense. And funnily enough, that's turned Dan's one off. But I don't think he minds. He's now got four Yokon locations to Kev's 1. And the strain is starting to build up here. Kev gets Dom. I think it looks like Dan is 4 power away from winning. If Kev Valor's here, then Dan is just going to save Euron. He
Take claim off the power claim. He did, okay. Cool. Alright.
Dan just making sure that Kev did take power for power claim. And I say, I think that's actually me watching.
Figured that was coming.
So Valor into weapons at the door.
I think you're going to have to go first. I'm just going to have to see what I can do. So I'll obviously save Euron.
So Dan is saving Euron and killing everyone else.
He dies.
So Dan's top deck in needs to be good.
Okay.
We know he's only got a Salty Navigator otherwise.
Match 1 for the 5 to murder. And then I guess we draw 1, 2.
Balon and a... yeah, that's not a bad top deck. Balon and a Lordsport Shipwright. Especially on a no-claim turn. I think this is starting to look like curtains here for Kev. He's delayed everything as much as possible, but we've got Gaston Grey out. And that is it.
So marshalling.
Yep. So,
Things first. Take this slow. I'll collect my 1, 2, 3.
Dan's got 3 gold, 4, 5, 6 gold he's going to have.
Nil that. For another 1.
7, 8, 9. So he can get Balon and this Lordsport Shipwright out. And I think the Lordsport Shipwright's basically going to see the game. Make this game because when he comes and kneels at Gaston. It's got to be the Lordsport Shipwright. The Renown should see Dan through.
What am I on here? 10. 11. Play it safe. And I'll kneel Gaston.
And then, yeah, Gaston is knelt with the Lordsport Shipwright.
On 1.
Sitting on 1 gold. Kev's got no challenges. I think this has got to be game, hasn't it?
It's got 2 gold, so there's probably going to be an intrigue claim against me. Intrigue.
So intrigue from Euron Crozai. Which is going to go unopposed. Unopposed and renowned. The Prince's Plan, not what Dan probably wanted to see. And power from Balon. And that is game. So well done there to Dan and bad luck there to Kev. It was a really tight game for most of it, but I think Dan always just had too much pressure on there for Kev. That econ control really helped. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and come back next time for the top 4. And as always, it has been emotional.